What do you guys? I was actually gonna ask like what you guys think about like the Soylent and the meal replacement stuff things.
I used to be sponsored by Soylent for about a year, and then they kind of like have backed out of gaming a bit. But I still like it. I just don't. I'm like I don't buy it because I make my own. I make a lot of my own food now. But if they were to send it to me, I'd still drink it. It's great. Like I like some of the flavors. I think it does kind of fill you up. The only thing for me was I was really when I was drinking it heavily, I was like really following my macros, and there are definitely more carbs to protein in that in those drinks than I would prefer. So I've actually gone to some other drinkables. Like there's one called Vega. They sell it at like Target, groceries, everywhere. It's like Vega protein. Yeah, and it's got a higher protein protein to carb ratio in it, and it has a lot of vitamins and stuff too. So
what was it called?
It's Vega. They sell a powder, and then they do like little boxes of 4 bottles.
I'm gonna check that bad boy out. I'm interested in that one.
And it's a little less calories than the Soylent as well. So
okay. Tom, give us your deets.
Dragon
What
Rot.
was the most recent question? Yeah, yeah, it's getting me.
Drinkable.
Tips for staying full and energized during a cast, and thoughts on meal replacement drinks.
So like Soylent, I'm not a huge fan of consuming a lot of Soylent. Now I've never had Soylent. I've read the ingredients, but I'm not a huge fan of replacing a lot of your meals from it, just simply from the precautionary principle of humans have not had liquid meals this often, this frequently, and we don't know what's going to happen. There might be zero effect. It might be still great.
Yeah, I don't think it should be every meal, but yeah.
That's their own claim. So having talked to somebody from their team, they're like, yeah, and I think they have this as part of their philosophy that's posted too. Is like this is a meal replacement. This is not your diet. Do not confuse those two things. Replace a meal. Do not only eat, as much as we'd love to sell you as much as we can, like you should not be doing that. That's not how a good diet works. You should have a rounded diet that has a bunch of factors, bunch of things.
Plus it's boring to drink the same thing over.
But in terms of meal replacement drinks, so my solution for that is if you need to do a liquid meal because you are low on time and you need some kind of energy, something to go in there. And again, your goal is weight loss, because I know that's a very common goal. Casein protein, to me, that is an unsung hero of weight loss that people don't talk enough about. So when you think about protein powders, yes, I will. So when you think about protein powders, most people think of whey. Whey is the most common one. It is a dairy-based protein. It is cheap. It is arguably the best amino acid profile, or basically the parts of the protein is like the best for just building and sustaining muscle. It's good for a lot of reasons. Now, casein, so like a milk protein, there's actually 2 parts, whey and casein. And so you can do this at home, fun science experiment. Get some milk, kind of warm it up on a saucepan, add some vinegar. It will curdle and separate into the curds and the whey. The whey is the liquid, the watery stuff. That's the whey protein. It gets dehydrated, then you consume that later as a protein powder. And then the curds, the solid piece that usually goes on to be cheese or whatever. That's mostly casein protein. Casein protein is super slow digesting and very filling. And so what I tell people is, like, if you struggle with, I need to get some sort of quick liquid meal, or I need a meal replacement shake, or I go to bed hungry, and that's kind of a problem for me, and I have late night binging or whatever, casein protein. Try it out. Casein protein. Seriously, it's so filling for so few calories. And so my suggestion for would be, try it out. Just 300 or 400 calories of a casein protein plus some milk, for example, any milk that you like. That's going to be a really thick milkshake, and it's going to last you